ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Namaskar, my dear friends. In this video I am going to explain the importance of the name. Especially in Bhakti Marga, the name is very, very important. As per our sages, the name itself is the Lord. In most religions, though not in Christianity, invocation of the divine name is one of the most important techniques of Bhakti Marga, that is of the path of devotion and submission. The following passage in praise of it is taken from Namdev, one of the great Maratha poet saints of the 13th and 14th centuries. In his youth, he was a bandit and murderer. One day he came upon a young mother comforting her fatherless child, and with sudden horror it flashed on him that it was he who had slain the father. In violent remorse, he rushed to the nearby temple and tried to commit suicide, but he was prevented. He then vowed the rest of his life to penance and worship. He became an ecstatic bhakta and a saint. All pervading. The name permeates everywhere from the heavens to the lowest regions of the entire universe. Who can tell to what depths in the neither regions and to what height in the heavens it extends? The ignorant undergo endless types of rebirths without knowing the essence. The name is immortal, says Namdev. Forms are innumerable, but the name is all. The name itself is form, and form is the name. There is no distinction between name and form. Becoming manifest, God assumed name and form. Thus the name and the Vedas were established. Remember that there is no mantra beyond the name. Those who say otherwise are ignorant. The name is God Himself, says Namdev. This is known only to loving devotees of the Lord. The all-pervading nature of the name can be understood only when one realizes his self. As long as one's own name is unrecognized, it is impossible to grasp the all-pervading name. When one knows one's self and one finds the name everywhere, to consider the name different from the named creates illusion. Ask the saints, says Namdev. None can realize the name by the practice of knowledge, jnana, meditation or austerity, tapas. Surrender yourself first at the feet of the Guru and learn to know that the I itself is the name. After finding the source of that I, merge your individuality in that oneness which is self-existent and devoid of all duality, that which pervades beyond all duality. The name has come into the three words. It is Brahman itself, where there is no action arising out of duality. Namdev's enlightenment. This was read out before Bhagwan in the hall, and he said, Namdev must have written this after he had obtained full realization on touching the feet of Vishobha Kesar. The point of this remark is that for a long time Namdev, although a saint and an ecstatic, was not fully realized. He worshipped God under the name of Vishobha. as is common in Maharashtra, and so intense was his devotion that the image of God in the temple used to come to life for him and speak to him as a friend. This sort of manifestation is apt to occur for the ecstatic bhakta. A modern example is Sri Rama Krishna, for whom the image of the Mother Kali came alive. Bhagwan continued with the following story of Namdev's final enlightenment. Gora, another saint who was a potter by trade, held a feast to which he invited the saints, including Namdev and Gyanadev, in the hope of enlightening Namdev. Gyanadev said to Gora, "Your job is making pots. You daily test them to see which are properly baked and which are not. There, sitting in front of you, are the pots of God, so test them to see which are sound." Gora, who had been told privately of the purpose of the test, agreed, and taking up the stick with which he used to test his pots, went round among his guests, tapping each one on the head. They all submitted meekly till he came to Namdev, who cried out indignantly, "What do you mean, potter, by coming to tap me with your stick?" Gora thereupon replied to Gyanadev, "All the other pots are properly baked, only this one is not yet baked." At this, everyone burst out laughing. Namdev was so humiliated that he got up and rushed out of the house straight to the temple of Vithoba, where he complained bitterly, crying out, "Am I not your child and your closest friend? How could you let such a humiliation befall me?" Vithoba appeared before him as usual and seemed to sympathize, but then said, "Why could you not sit quiet and submit to the tapping like all the others? Then there would have been no trouble." At this, Namdev became still more upset and cried, "You too want to humiliate me? Why should I submit? Am I not your child?" Vithoba then said, "You have not yet understood, and even if I tell you, you won't. But go to such and such a ruined temple in the forest, and there you will find a saint who will be able to give you enlightenment." Namdev went to the forest as he was told, and when he reached the ruined temple, he found a simple old man lying asleep there with his feet resting on a Shiva lingam. He could hardly believe that this was the man from whom he, the chosen friend of Vithoba, was to obtain enlightenment. However, as there was no one else there, he went up to him and clapped his hands to wake him. The old man woke up with a start and seeking him and said, "Oh, so you are the Namdev whom Vithoba has sent here?" At this, Namdev was taken aback and began to think that this must be a man of power, to know his name and why he had come. Still, man of power or not, he had no right to rest his feet on a lingam, he thought, and he told the old man so. "Oh, are my feet on a lingam?" The old man said, "All right, put them somewhere else." So Namdev, out of reverence for the lingam, moved them to another spot. There too a Shiva lingam sprang up, and so in one place after another, whatever place he put them. Finally he sat down and took them in his lap, and he himself became a Shiva lingam. And at that moment enlightenment dawned on him. After this, Namdev returned home. For some days he did not go to the temple at all, although it had been his habit to go there daily and spend most of the day there with Vithoba. After a few days, Vithoba appeared before him in his house and asked, apparently guileless, why he had forgotten to visit him. No more fooling me now, Namdev replied. I know now. Is there any place where you are not? Do I need to go to the temple to be with you? Do I exist apart from you? Yes, now you understand, Vithoba said. Commenting on this story, Bhagwan said, it is to be noted that it was only when he surrendered and touched the feet of the Guru that he obtained enlightenment. Verily, the name is God Himself. In modern times, Swami Ramdas also, like most bhaktas, prescribed the invocation of the name. The following is an article about it that he distributed privately among his disciples. It is printed here with the kind permission of Mataji. God and His name are not distinct from one another. Name is God Himself. The moment we think of the name, our mind is filled with the presence of God. There is no easier way of focusing thought upon God than taking constantly His name. Where we repeat the name aloud, we feel our heart is flooded with the ecstasy of love, because the sound of the divine name awakens the heart to the bliss and love of God. Although mental repetition of the name is held to be far more efficacious than the verbal repetition, still the rare experience of sweetness and joy derived from uttering the name aloud is incomparable. When the entire being of the devotee thrills with rapture to the music of the name, he realizes that the name is Brahma. God is both manifest and unmanifest. The name stands for such a God. Here the unmanifest is the all-pervading, infinite, immutable, tranquil and static spirit of God. The manifest is the entire universe of name, form and moment with all its beings, creatures and things. The name stands for this all-inclusive and all-transcendent Godhead who is both personal and impersonal. The divine name is thus the beginningless source of all creation and the creation itself. God, the Absolute, is the nameless name. The name can free the soul from bondage. The name can take it to the highest consummation of spiritual life. The name can grant a blind soul divine sight. The name can bless an individual with a universal vision full of sublimity. The name can lift the soul to inconceivable heights of God realization. Love, light, power and joy. The power of the name is invincible. A mind which is considered to be unconquerable by the soothing influence of the name becomes docile, yielding and submissive. The mind itself is transformed into God by the power of the name. He who takes refuge in the name can work wonders. Death itself will stand in awe of him. He can command all the forces of nature and direct them to bring about a spiritual awakening in the hearts of men. The name can make a human being an embodiment of eternal love and joy. The name can convert an individual into a cosmic reality, an ignorant soul into a very God. Where the name of God is sung, the atmosphere is permeated with purity, peace and bliss, for the sympathy of the name spreads everywhere the splendor of love. The name is all sufficient, the utterances of it is itself meditation. The ecstasy born of it is itself is samadhi. The name is love, light, power and joy. The writer can vouch for it from his own experience that the name by itself without any other sadhana can grant one the fullest vision of God everywhere and may merge him in an ocean of never-ending love and joy. There is no sadhana which can be so universally adopted by all people and is at the same time so simple for realizing God as the divine name. It is perfectly true in the words of a saint that he who has God's name always on his tongue is a Jivan Mukta or a liberated soul. So, dear friends, to whatever race, caste, creed, or color you may belong, take up the name of God and feel the sweet communion with it, and you may depend upon it. Your souls, through constant bathing in the nectar of the name, will not only be purified but will also be illumined with the omnipresent and omniscient light and love of God. This practice of taking the name will lead the unyielding spirit of man to complete surrender to the omnipotent power and will of God. In the earlier stages, when the name is repeated with earnestness, faith, and concentration, the face and the body of the devotee will shine with a peculiar luster. His mind will be filled with wisdom and heart with love. This is due to predominance of sattva guna in the devotee. Later, when the repetition is continued with the same zeal, he will behold the universe before him as the very expression of God. Becoming one with God, he will have the vision of God everywhere. Cure for desires. In Islam, as one would expect from a religion whose very name denotes submission, no technique is more prized than invocation of the divine name. The food and drinks of the saint is remembrance of the name of the Lord, said Abdul Hasan al-Ghazali. The great theologian said, what the slave of God derives from his name is deification, by which I mean that his heart and purpose are drowned in God and he sees none other. Recital of the name is a certain cure for all desires, said Dhunj Nan Misri. Whoever hears it faithfully finds the way to God, bestows divine wisdom. For the Sikhs also there is no more potent technique than invocation of the divine name, as the following hymn from the Granth Sahib shows. Hearkening to the name bestows truth, divine wisdom, contentment. To bathe in the joy of the name is to bathe in the holy places. By hearing the name and reading it, a man attains to honor. By hearkening, the mind may reach the highest blissful poise of meditation on God. Said Nanak, the saints are always happy. By hearkening to the name, sorrow and sin are destroyed. Buddhism is the most impersonal of religions. Its essential and original teaching seems to have no place for a path of devotion or for personal worship. In the Pure Land School, however, in China and Japan, Mahayana Buddhism has developed such a path for those who need it. A passage in Zendo's commentary on the Pure Land Sutras runs as follows. Only repeat the name of Amitabha with all your heart, whether walking or standing, sitting or lying. Never cease the practice of it for a moment. This is the work which unfailingly issues in salvation, for it is in accordance with the original vow of Amida Buddha. It was on the basis of this instruction Hunan founded the Japanese school of Jodo. So here I end this video. Thank you, my dear friends, for listening this video with patience and devotion. Please like, comment and share the video and subscribe the channel. Thanks, my dear friends. Namaste.